Hey, so happy Monday, everyone. I've been wanting to put this together, but it's a matter of going through my files, cutting things up, removing as many. I'm sure most of these email addresses that were attached to the posts from FactNet are defunct, but you never know. And so I'm trying to make sure they're all covered or blotted out, whatever you want to say. So what I've put together here is a very, very quick background. FactNet was a forum. It still is, but it has changed its mission. The forum was for information about cults of all kinds, church cults, gym cults, like anything that you do in life, there's a cult. It's probably dog walkers cult for all I know. I have no idea. But anyway, somehow, so in December of 2003, I believe it was, if I have my time frame correct, there was a major split in the church. And a bunch of people went with the House of Prayer, led by Dennis. And he broke off from Davis for different reasons. A lot of reasons were sketchy at the time. We had really no idea. I think a lot was kept from the congregation for sure. To this day, I saw that there was some information about a CD, I think with Kekel on it and somebody else. I don't even know if that is a thing, but apparently some people heard it. I don't know what it was about. I was not privy to that. And honestly, at the time, as a defender, I wasn't interested in really anything that spoke negatively about the leadership of NTCC. That's why we, myself, my ex-husband, and others were asked to go online, go on FactNet, and post our positive testimonies, which went on and on and on. Most of us went quite wordy. And so at the time, I do not know who found out about it, honestly. I have no idea. I don't know how anyone would. Because you think back in 2003, 2004, and I think it was 2004, the spring conference was a pastor's conference in Graham. So all the pastors and their wives descended on Graham. And most of us kept someone with us for that period of time. I don't remember how long it was. It was longer, I think, than the one they just had, that's for sure. But anyway, and so all these things are going on. Now, probably the mistake someone made was bringing it out that this was on there. But I suppose what happened was, not knowing the extreme origins, I know what happened with the person who began answering on FactNet, and I have recently spoken to that person. I consider her the FactNet OG because it takes some intestinal fortitude to come out and speak up and to warn and to expose, because we all know, anyone who has sat through services for any length of time knows anyone who leaves is never right. Their lives are always messed up. It's always they're following the devil. It's never God leading them away from the abusive control. Could not be that. Can't be that. There's no way. Because otherwise your life and your time in that group is a total, complete waste, right? So what happened was, word was starting to get out, like on the heels of all this stuff with the split, which was confusing in and of itself, was this FactNet forum. And so what happened, as you'll see, and I'm just going to load these screenshots that I've cut up, and where there were side conversations, I took them out. I tried to keep in anything that was relevant, like from both sides, so I didn't want to just present one side. Of course, once I was out, I, at the time, considered what the people were writing, their experiences NTCC were true. It's true. There were these rules. There was this and that and the other thing, so you couldn't argue with it. But a woman apparently had come on to the FactNet forum looking for information about NTCC, and so this one young lady, she and her husband had left, I think 2002 maybe, might have that, 2001 or 2002. And so she answered. And if you look at it objectively, you can see that she clearly was not saying anything crazy. She wasn't being mean, and she was handling it very balanced, I thought. I thought it at the time, and I think it now even more so. And so what transpired was all of a sudden everybody knows, and people are going on to look at it. And this is where it all falls apart for Davis, because he does not have the control he used to have over people, because he cannot now control who goes on the internet or not. He can say don't, he can say you're going to hell if you do, or you're not obeying, and scare the bejesus out of everybody. But, there came a point where then, instead of trying to keep everyone off, he just said, well, we were told, with whisperings like from Tanya and all, I don't remember all who else, like, please, post your positive testimonies. Okay. And so a bunch of us did. And then that somehow, I really don't know how word got out, because when you think about the world wasn't as connected as it is now. Of course, we did have cell phones, but very limited in how we were using them at the time. And so people got word of it and were coming on and giving their testimonies of being in NTCC. And so the pinnacle of this all, the thing that blew this open, and again, Mike can't help himself but to say ridiculous things and to show what's really in his heart. And he should have stood down, but instead he came out as someone called the Whirlwind. Now, I've heard conflicting reports. I was told before he posted by Tanya that he was going to post. My recollection does not allow me to recall if she said he was going to post as the Whirlwind or not, or if he was going to be doing the typing himself, or if he had a sort of proxy to do it from a different location, since FactNet showed your IP address. But that could be masked, actually, and that was proven by Vic Johansson at one point. So what I've put up here is the beginnings of it. And I will tell you that for those of us who were posting positive testimonies, and who then later saw what Kekel posted, we did not talk to each other to say it. We didn't. Not even husband to wife. You just read it and you were like, what is this? What is going on? And then I think later on, because your leaving comes in stages. It's not this one thing. For most people, it's not one thing. It's a buildup. Such as my friend Monica was sharing me. It took her a long time. She should have left a long time ago, right? That's what you think. We should have left a long time ago, but we didn't. And that's because of the cult dynamic and the authoritarian control, and how the Bible is wielded as something to keep you obedient and in place. And so what I've presented here is, I'm not going to read through each one for you or point out anything. I did start highlighting. It just got to be a task, really. Just, and then I've got files all over the place, FactNet numbered from 1 to 51 and 52 to 73, and it's just, oy. So I wanted to bring you to the point where Kekel comes on as the Whirlwind, where there are some responses to what he said, because he said something that just shows the heart of this organization and of Kekel himself, judging such cruel judgment of people. We're going to see it in others who post for NTCC, who are trying to defend how they judge. And I'm going to do a separate one where Vic Johansson mentioned how one of the probably the best conferences I ever had was in Myrtle Beach. And he said why. And he was trying to point out you don't need all that money that they supposedly used to build the campground in Missouri, where we were forced to go twice a year, and how that it could be fun and enjoyable and intimate and uplifting without all of that. So that's going to be in a separate one, because you'll see the reaction from NTCC apologists about what he said. So anyway, go ahead, read through these. Of course, it's a long video, because I've tried to make it so each one is 3 to 5 seconds long, the length of how long it will be on the screen. But honestly, you're going to have to just pause it and read it. And I hope you'll read it. And I hope you'll read it carefully and see who the people are who are careful and balanced and more loving and less judgmental. Thank you. I just wanted to add here that this is just the first part of the original FactNet, starting at the beginning. So I'm bringing you to a certain place, and then I will continue it. Thank you.